Hey, great to have you here. So I know I recently put out an SH Figuarts Goku Dragon Ball Daima video, and sure enough, I'm following that up with a Dragon Ball Daima SH Figuarts Vegeta video. So we got announcements of both of these figures. This video I'm going to be covering Vegeta specifically and the overall look to him as compared to maybe other Vegetas or the smaller Dragon Ball Daima Vegeta and so forth. So let's not waste any time. Let's just jump right into the images and see what we get with this guy. So first up, we get the very standard, typical, what you fully expect of Vegeta at this point, crossed arms look with a little smirk to his face. So overall, from this first image, I think this looks like a good figure. Face looks good. As I said, crossed arms are very typical for a Vegeta figure specifically. And then the body just overall looks like that Dragon Ball Daima smaller Vegeta figure, just in a larger scale form. You have the kind of curved toes to the boots he has there, so very similar aesthetic to that smaller Vegeta, just in a larger form here. So not a lot to call out here, other than you pretty much are getting what you expect with a Vegeta figure here. Next up, we have another very expected Vegeta pose with his battle stance that he has here. The face here looks a little bit different. We have previously with a little smirk on his face. This one's a little bit more stern, like he's very focused and dialed in, ready to engage in combat. So other than that, we have the change to the arms. We don't have the crossed arms this time. We have one fist on the right hand, and then on the left hand we have that martial artist pose that he has. So overall, this looks very fitting for a Vegeta, similar to what I talked about in the previous Daima Goku. I think this is the first base form 3.0 Vegeta. Correct me if I'm wrong. I guess, well, we may have gotten some recently that may not be out yet. We'll have to see ultimately what those look like. But as far as regular retail releases, I believe this is at least the first 3.0 Vegeta that we've gotten. So we have him, the widespread stance, really showing off that articulation with him. And another great photo. As I said, this looks like Vegeta. The last couple photos very much embody what Vegeta has as a character. Next up, a lot more expression on this one. I really enjoy this one. We have him in a screaming face. So with that yelling face, he's doing a blast attack. So different left hand here as well, with kind of that just straight up palm blast that he's doing here. And a lot more expression with this facial animation compared to the previous two, with more stoic look. This one's him very lashing out and attacking somebody. So love this one as well. Just really embodies Vegeta as a character. The knees look a little bit gappy at a couple spots. I guess we saw that in the prior image too, but that top of the kneecap looks like there's a little bit of a gap there, but I don't think that's going to be a big problem, especially because you may not see this high of an angle when showing that knee. Next photo is a little bit weird of an angle to show as a photo. I don't mind that image, but it's weird we get a bit of a top-down view, but maybe they're just trying to show some variety. We have him with two open palm hands, and this is just him doing some kind of like fury blast attack, I would imagine. I think the same face is here used here. Really, the only difference is the hands they use. Instead of having just a straight up palm blasting attack, we're having kind of the open hand, as I said, fury blasting attack here. So not a lot different other than those hands that we have. And then next up we have another Vegeta. Looks like he's doing more of a Gallic gun pose here, so not a whole lot of different. I'm trying to tell. The face may be a different face. It looks like it's more of a closed gritting. It's kind of a tough angle to see, but it looks like more of a gritting face from what we can see here. And then he has more of those curled up fingers, as opposed to the last one where he had kind of the open, just clenched fingers at the end of the fingertips. This one looks like it's more of a beam specific type pose where he's, as I said, charging up that Gallic gun. So another great image here. And then finally, we have him doing a kick. So similar to the Goku, we have the last image really trying to show off the leg articulation, with him here being able to stand on one leg and then the right leg being pretty much 90 degrees out, doing a side kick. And then, yeah, this one really shows off that teeth gritting face a little bit better than the last image, but like that one as well. And I think this just really shows off kind of what the 3.0 articulation can do for SH Figuarts, specifically the Dragon Ball line and Vegeta here in this instance. So really great image here. And that's the last photo we do have of him. Kind of calling out some highlights here. As far as what's included, I know we have the main body, 4 interchangeable hand pieces. So we obviously have the just clenched fists. We have the open hands with the kind of the martial artist look. We have the blasty hands with a little bit curl on the end, and then we have the just straight up palm pose, as well as the fingers that are more like kind of for your Gallic gun as well. So a little bit of variety there as far as the hands that are included here. Ultimately, 3 interchangeable face parts. So I mentioned, comes on the smirk, has the stern face, we have the yelling face, and we have the teeth gritting face. I don't know which one's my favorite. They're all pretty good. I kind of like that yelling face just because it's the most variety amongst the 4 of them. Interchangeable head parts. So I don't know if I noticed that. Let me look back to see any of these images. I mean, I can't tell a whole lot, so we'll have to see if we get really any difference. Maybe, I'm trying to barely tell, but I think what they're calling out is they may have 2 different headpieces, where one is just his hair straight up and one is this a little bit more windswept to the right, where it's more kind of in that combat pose, like he has his defensive power pose that he has. It's a very subtle difference, but I think that's the 2 differences, where you have his hair just straight up versus somewhat waving to the right a little bit. So not a big difference there, but I guess it's another variety, which is always nice to have. And then the folded arms inclusion as well. So that's what Vegeta comes with. Similar to Goku, we have that 4,400 yen price. I think it's going to be $35 here, similar to Goku. And then, somewhat similarly, pre-orders open in October here. And then release date's expected to be May of next year. So a month after Goku. But I think my opinion overall is the same as Goku, where I'm going to see how much I enjoy Daima. And I think also, I probably lean towards, if I'm going to pick up a Daima figure, picking up the smaller forms of the characters, because from what we can tell, that's going to be how they spend a majority of the show in those forms. I fully expect Daima to kick off with them in their base forms, and then things to transpire and them get shrunk down, and that's how they spend most of the show. We'll have to see ultimately, but if I'm picking one versus the other, I probably would pick the smaller forms. But if I was trying to pick up multiple, I don't think this is a bad choice. Similar to Goku, I think it looks like Vegeta, especially from Daima, with that kind of shiny, brighter look to him. So I wouldn't mind picking this up, but it's probably going to come with a pecking order of how much I like Daima. Do I like this in addition to the smaller form of the character from Daima? So that's my thoughts overall. What are your thoughts on this Vegeta? Similar to the prior video, what are your thoughts on Daima as a whole and these characters that they're really starting to push out to promote the show? Would love to see you guys' feedback below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to talk to you again soon.